Okay, in this video, I'd like to try something different and actually walk through a few of the practice problems that I'm assigning for MathXL this week. Hopefully, this will get you better prepared for the exponential and logarithm quiz that I'm going to release starting tomorrow on April 1st. So right now, you should be working on your final exponentials and logarithms assignment. So I'm just going to preview that and work through a few of these problems. Um, These first few questions are really just meant to remind you of how we can solve these exponential equations with logarithms. And what I would expect you to do here is to start with this problem, 2 to the x power equals 6. So this is problem number 1. I would write down 2 to the x power equals 6. And then remind yourself, or hopefully you still remember, that since the unknown value is here in the exponential, again, since this unknown value is in the exponential, we could rewrite this as a logarithm. And so the logarithm has the same base as the exponential, and instead of evaluating at the exponent itself, we'll evaluate it at the number on the opposite side. So log base 2 of 6 would equal x. Now, if you've got a calculator that can handle this, you could simply type this expression into that calculator and be done. The way MathXL is set up this week, especially if you use the Help Me Solve This, is they'll recommend that you use what's called the change of base formula to rewrite this. And we can very easily do that by creating a fraction. This expression is exactly the same as log of 6 divided by log of 2. Now, on the MathXL assignment, they do say that we want an exact answer for a solution. So the exact answer would be either this logarithmic phrase or this logarithmic phrase. So let's jump over there and type that in now. So the exact solution for x is, I'm going to create a fraction here. And in the numerator, we'll type log of 6. And in the denominator, we'll type log of 2. And that's the exact solution. If I type this into the calculator, we'll see decimals as a result, but we don't want to type in the decimals here. We want to type in the exact solution with no decimals. So when I tap enter here, we should get a note that we got that one correct. It's worth noting that if I had typed in log base 2 of 6, I'd also get credit as well. So now for the approximate solution, the one that we would most likely use in the real world is the answer to this division rounded to 4 decimal places. So now I'm going to jump out to my calculator and I'm going to take the logarithm of 6. So on this one I have to type 6 first and then press the log key and then divide that by, I'm going to use parentheses here just to be safe, the logarithm of 2. So I'll press 2, then logarithm, close my parentheses, and tap enter. And this result should be that 0.7 number for log of 6 and the 0.3 number that we got for log of 2. And it divided them before we did any rounding. If you're doing this on paper and you press the enter button in between each of these calculations, make sure you use maybe 5 or 6 decimal places before you divide. That way, your solution, when rounded to the 4th decimal place here, will be accurate. Now, the 4th decimal in this case is 9, and if I look to the right of it, the 6 would round this 9 up. So that 9 should bump up to 10, which means that this 4 gets bumped up to 5 at the same time. So that's a bit of an interesting rounding result, but let's see what happens when we type that in. 2.5850 is what I'm going to write. 2.5850. Tap enter, and MathXL did like that. Moving on to the next question, very, very similar, only this time we've got a bit of a subtraction in the exponential. So when I write this expression down, so this is problem number 2. Let's write this down, because remember, I am asking that you turn in your work for this week. For number 2, we'll write 3 to the x minus 5 power equals 3 to the x minus 5 power equals 7. And again, our job is to get the x by itself. Well, since the x, the unknown, is in an exponent right now, the easiest way to solve that is with a logarithm. So I'm going to write logarithm base 3 because it contains the same base of the exponent of 7 is equal to x minus 5. Now here again, I've just rewritten this exponential equation. What was an exponential equation now is written as a logarithm. These two mean the same thing, even though they look completely different. The reason why we're rewriting this is because I can go to the calculator and evaluate this result. This will just turn into some number. I don't know what that number is yet, and we don't need to know what that number is yet, but just in your mind, think we've got a number over here on the left-hand side equal to x minus 5. And if we have a number that's equal to x minus 5, then by adding 5 to both sides, we'll be able to isolate x. I'm going to write x on the left-hand side here, just to switch these around a little bit. And x would be equal to whatever log base 3 of 7 is. So log base 3 of 7 plus 5. And this is our exact answer. It seems a bit strange because it doesn't look like a usable result whatsoever, but indeed this is the exact and precise number because there are no decimals. There was no rounding to be done just yet. So if I jump back to the MathXL question, the exact solution should be, and there's a shortcut here, you can actually type log, and then if you use your underscore button by holding shift and the hyphen key, you can, by pressing that underscore button, it actually drops down to the base of the logarithm. So we've got log base 3, and then I'll use my right arrow to jump out of that, of 7. And we can add 5 to that afterwards. And that's our precise answer. And you'll notice that MathXL did accept that as a result, so they're okay with this format. They would have also been okay with this other format if you're so inclined to use it. Either one is perfectly fine, but we could have typed log of 7 over log of 3 plus 5, and this would have been accepted as well as an exact solution. Either one works. So if that's the exact solution, then we need the approximate answer as well. So I'm going to go to the calculator. And again, this calculator can't perform that task, but this one can. So I'll let that start up and we'll double check our work here. But I'm going to see what happens if I type log of 7 divided by log of 3 and then tap enter. That's 1.7. Now notice I'm not clearing anything yet. I'm leaving these decimals in the calculator so that the calculator retains all of these extra decimals before we complete the problem. Now when I add 5 to it, it looks like 6.7712 is the result. So x is approximately 6.7712. Now that my calculator over here is started up, I'm going to enter this expression as we had originally written it and see if we get the same result. So I'll have to press the control key, then this key. This brings up our logarithm, and sorry for that being so small. Let's see if we can make that. No, there's no way I can make that any bigger. I'll zoom in just a second. Log base 3 of 7 plus 5. Now, here again, on the basic calculator, we typed in an expression similar to the second layout. And what I'm doing now is I'm using a fancy calculator to evaluate the expression as we normally would have written it on paper. And let's just compare those results. And sure enough, the answer from the fancy calculator says 6.7712 as well. So I'm fairly confident that this solution for the second part of the question is 6.7712, and I'm double checking my instructions here. It says don't round until the final answer and then round to 4 decimal places. So we didn't round at all until the very end, and 6.7712 was the number we got. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here to keep this relatively brief, but hopefully that gives you an idea of what's being asked of you for these first few questions on MathXL. Good luck.